Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got in a rifle scope to take a look at. This one's coming from MidTen. This is a 3-9 by 40. It has a second focal plane reticle, also has an illuminated reticle, and is very budget friendly. So stick around if you want to learn about it. We'll do a real quick unboxing. We'll go over all the features and specifications, try to show you guys what the reticle looks like. We'll probably get it mounted to something, get out to the range, do a little bit of testing with it, and then give some thoughts on it. So our box is fairly plain, but that's okay. You're not buying this for the box. It does say that this is shock and recoil proof, fully coated lens, fog and waterproof. So we have to pull out whatever's in here. Looks like we're going to have some scope rings, 2 batteries for that illuminated reticle. They are CR2032s. And then I'll get this stuff out. So we also had the scope with some included lens covers, a user manual, and a lens cleaning cloth. Quickly show you this manual just in case there's any information that I leave out or anything that you want to read over. And it looks like they have a 1-year warranty on this scope. So before we start going over all the details, I'll give you guys some close-ups here. So the scope is made out of some type of aluminum. I don't know if it's 6061, it likely is. And then it also has an anodization on it. We are looking at a total length of just over 12 inches. If you add your lens caps, you're probably getting close to 13 inches. And it has a tube diameter of 1 inch. Let's get everything on the scale, see what our weight is. The scope itself weighs 16.7 ounces. We'll add our rings, we're just over 20. Lens covers, 21. Battery doesn't really change it, so 21 ounces for everything. So this does have the MidTen logo right there, and again it's going to say a 3-9 by 40. For those of you that aren't completely familiar, the 3-9 is our magnification power, and the 40 is the size of our objective lens down here. That's 40 millimeters. This is going to have a diopter adjustment. So let's just say your target's at 100 yards and maybe it's a little bit blurry or fuzzy. This is like a focus ring. You can turn this to kind of dial in, almost like binoculars. Again, this is going to have an illuminated reticle. There's going to be 5 brightness levels of green and 5 brightness levels of red. I've never seen one that's up on top here like this. It's kind of interesting. Usually they're over here on this other side, but our battery's going to go in here. This dial here is how we're going to change our magnification. Let's just kind of check to see how stiff that is. It's not too bad. Some of these are so stiff right out of the box you can barely turn them. They almost always get looser with use. But then moving down, we have our turrets down here for windage and elevation. Let's check them out. So they are toolless. Very positive clicks with each adjustment. These are quarter MOA at 100 yards. Again, if you're not familiar with that, basically every click is going to give you a 1/4 inch at 100 yards. So if you're, let's just say 2 inches high at 100 yards, you'd have to turn this 8 times to bring you down. These turrets are also resettable to 0. There's a ton of YouTube videos talking about it. If you're not familiar with it, but basically let's just say that you zero your scope at 150 yards, and then the next time you go to the range, let's just say you're shooting at 250. Well, when you get done, you can basically put these back to where they were set at 150. The lenses are fully multi-coated. I'm not exactly sure how many layers, but I think at least 5. It does allow for more light transmission, makes things just appear clearer. And this is threaded. If you wanted to put some type of sunshade or something on there, you could. And finally, these are O-ring sealed and nitrogen purged. What that means is basically it removes any of the oxygen that was in here. And so it prevents the thing from like fogging up when you're looking through it, and makes it fairly waterproof. Try to show you guys what the reticle looks like. I believe that the eye relief is around maybe 3.9 inches or so. I'll also try to show you guys this illuminated reticle. It's almost impossible to kind of hold this while I'm going through them, but that's level 1 of red. That's 2 red, 3. And again, something like this would be good for like dusk or dawn shooting. But as you can see, it is really bright. I'm in the middle of the day right now with a bunch of windows open and lights on. That's our green 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that dial is actually really smooth. It turns really easily. So that tree that I'm looking at right now is just over 100 yards away. It is a rainy, gloomy day out here today. Just want to show you how much light's coming through. And that is on the 3 times magnification. That is the same tree on the 6 times magnification. And finally, the 9 times magnification. I'm going to get this scope mounted next, just so everybody knows I'm working with a completely safe gun here. And by adding a scope to a rifle, it does not modify or alter the rifle in any way. Anytime I'm mounting a scope and it comes with 2 rings like this, I always like to mount them side by side on a rail. And it'd be hard to show you here, but I like to look through this and make sure that everything lines up perfectly in there, because if your rings are a little bit off, you're going to have a hard time getting the thing zeroed and then definitely maintaining zero. Ideally, you want to use a leveling kit, but if you don't have one, you can actually just make some crosshairs, and as long as your lines are completely like perpendicular, and then as long as you hang that level, you can still get your scope completely leveled pretty easily. Alright guys, out at the range this morning with that MidTen, the 3 to 9 by 40 scope. Do a little bit of testing with it. We'll kind of check the clarity of the glass. We'll get it sighted in, probably put 50 to 100 rounds through it, make sure that it holds 0 and that there aren't any other issues. So I had a chance to get out and use this scope, and overall I was pretty pleased with the performance of it. It was easy to sight in, and more importantly, it held 0. The build quality seems pretty decent, and the overall like fit and finish on the scope seems really good. I'll talk about the mounts here in a bit. The glass is very clear. The day at the range was bright and sunny. But the day that I was showing you like the trees and the magnification, like it was like raining and gloomy, and still really good light transmission, so very good clarity on it. I like that it has this diopter adjustment or focus adjustment. A lot of budget scopes do not have that, and again, if something's just a little bit blurry or fuzzy or whatever, you can basically turn this to make your image much clearer. I also like that it has this illuminated reticle. And I like the fact that if the battery dies, you still do have your crosshairs and can still use your scope. The adjustment for your magnification is very smooth, and you're able to do that with one hand without losing your sight picture. I like the fact that making your adjustments for windage and elevation is toolless. Plus, those clicks are audible and palpable, and they are resettable to 0. I've had a lot of budget scopes from like Barska and Tasco, Simmons, even some of the like the Bushnell banners. And this one here from MidTen does seem to be a little bit nicer than those ones. If I could change something on this rifle, I would put this throw lever on this opposite side. As it is right now, if you use it, like right now I was on 3, now I'm up on 4, now I'm on 5. Well, the throw lever goes underneath the scope, basically above the rifle, and there's almost no room to kind of continue to use it. When I had it on that AR originally, I could not get my fingers in there to actually grab a hold of that. It's not as bad on this rifle, but you can still just use the dial without it. But if it was on this side, it would always be up on top of the scope basically. And my second complaint kind of has to do with these scope rings. So I've had this on multiple different rifles over the last few weeks, and when I try to take them off, this back one comes loose, no problem at all. This front one, whatever this little piece right is here that like actually clamps onto the rail, I can never get this to actually come off. Like right now it's completely stuck. It's going to be hard for the camera to see, but I have all kinds of scratches on that little piece from having to take screwdrivers and stuff to try to pop in here to get this thing to come loose. Like, hopefully you can see here what I'm talking about. But yeah, I have to take a small screwdriver and pop in here to get this to come off of the rail. And I have to do it on both sides. And what I think it is I think that the hole is either off a little bit or not big enough for like this bolt that goes through here. Because even without it being on, sometimes like right now I cannot get it to move, and now I can. So what I might do is just take a Dremel or something and maybe make that hole a little bit smoother or a little bit bigger. But I definitely say don't let that little ring issue deter you from picking up the scope. It could just be mine. I just want to let you guys know about it. You know, the next 1,000 of them could be perfectly fine. Plus, once you get it mounted to your rail, you're probably not going to be taking it on and off a bunch of times anyways. So this MidTen scope is available on Amazon. And I don't know if I've ever had an illuminated reticle for that price. Plus there is a discount that's available as well. So pretty incredible on that. And I'll leave that Amazon link down in the video description in case you guys want to find out more information on the scope, if you want to read some of the other reviews, or if you want to pick one up. But alright guys, if you found the video helpful or informative in any way, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel out. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.